Hey everyone, this is a 2v2 battle on grassy flats. My name is jmartin. Thanks for watching. I'm playing as Prussia here, and a friend of mine named Hope is playing as GB over there. And I thought this was a really interesting battle, and there are a few things I want to try to make sure to comment on or to focus on. And this game required. This is a really good game, by the way. And it required, well, what am I trying to say? I don't play 2v2s generally against super aggressive opponents, and that's what this wound up being. And so it required, I'm not necessarily sure teamwork is correct, but both Hope and I had to do the correct thing, and Hope and I aren't able to voice chat, so we kind of have to play more instinctively with each other, and I think we're pretty good at it. But it required us to do things a bit different. Our opponents for this game are two people from the APGC clan. Over here is a person named Dogsnot, and this is Nikolay Karpov. What I want you to notice, and if you look at the minimap it might make more sense, is they start by kind of doing, they want to double team on the right side or on Hope's side. And that's bad because my army was arranged really wide. So what I have to do is try to run over as fast as possible to get into Hope. And I'm going to fast forward until the first interesting things happen. So these two players right now are running that direction. And they've both chosen Prussia. And my initial thought was that they wanted to do a mass hammer tactic in the middle with a whole bunch of lights. It was my initial thought. At this point, I asked Hope if he'll just not run but walk up, and he does that because it's going to take me time to get into position, and I'm obviously running to get into position. And right here an interesting thing happens. This Prussian player realizes that he's not going to make it, and he has to start this frantic redeployment to meet my forces that are actually coming into the neighborhood. So the first thing that I thought, let me pause, the first thing that I thought we did well there was we coordinated movements. Hope moved up slowly because I had to get time to get over there, and I ran to get up there, and that caused a small victory at the beginning. We prevent the absolute double team. Now, more information on that coming. However, things aren't looking terribly great. All I have right now are these two light infantry, and the line are showing up, but the middle and left part of my line, there's the middle part of my line, and the left part of my line is way back there, are still moving up. This is enough, however, to sort of, well, I'm not really sure that's true. I mean, this guy still has, you know, these units here that are moving on to Hope, and so that's kind of the deal. Now let me pause again. I want to segue into the second issue. So these guys have deployed all of their strength here. And if we're going to win this battle, I mean, Hope really doesn't have much of a shot if these units can successfully turn to him. And no matter how good a job I do here, just the geography of where the units are, you know, this is kind of the boundary between Hope and I. And Hope, you know, automatically, if you extend that boundary there, is going to be taken on these guys. So Hope is hopelessly outnumbered. I didn't intend that to be a pun. So in order for this to be successful, they've got all their strength there, and they're weak here. And I've said before in videos that when somebody attacks you, you don't just absorb the punch, but it's very important to counter punch somewhere else. And that's going to happen in a minute. You're going to watch this game develop, and this game develops really, really quickly. So my lights are finally getting into position, and you'll notice that he's pulling back his line. Now these are foot guards. These three units here are rather high quality infantry, and he has lights and everything, and you can see that at least two of these lights, we're going to say, are in Hope's zone, and you can see Hope retreating his units there. At this point, I have a cav that I start switching over to this flank, and you can see I push a unit of lights up to threaten. Now my opponent, I think, is smart enough to actually realize this, and he's pulling those lifeguards back. I think, you know, let me pause again. I think if these guys, at this point in the battle, I think the mistake that they're making is they have achieved their goal of overwhelming preponderance of force right here. If he just attaches these two lights, then they have 6 lights here against Hope's 3, their big flaw is not being aggressive enough right there. I mean, they made this huge aggressive double team maneuver and didn't really, and it succeeded, I think is the argument you have to make. And this guy's pulling back, he's letting Hope get first shot. I don't really understand that. What does happen is I kind of make, I'm not really sure it was an error, but I'm moving my lights really aggressively because I actually have 5 lights on 3, but my line is having a hard time keeping up, and I've made the cardinal mistake of getting my lights too far away from my line. I suicidal answer in here that didn't work out very well. I think at this point I was really just, I was grasping for ways to slow these guys down. But notice this movement here. My opponent has 3 Lancers. Yeah, those are all, Hussars. Yeah, Hussars. Okay, so light cav. And you notice, again, let me pause. The avenue they have, these are my light infantry there, is dead on. And I don't have, they're able to hit me on the flank, and I don't have any way to do it. You can see I'm holding the spacebar down, that I'm retreating my lights as well as I can. And Hope is being a little aggressive on his own. There's disorganization in their line there, and Hope's looking to exploit that with his own cav charge and lights. Now, this cav charge comes through, and I countercharge 1 unit. I get in a square and try to pull my lights back. I want to pause and talk about a couple things. So this cav charge does a few things. It completely disorganizes my lights. All my lights have to pull back, and I think he's actually going to rout 1 or 2 of my light units. The problem is that this is an unsupported cav charge. It would have been great if that cav could have just straight up killed my lights, but my line actually got there. I think this guy, when he ordered the charge from way on this side of the map, thought maybe he'd get to my lights before the line protection showed up, but the line protection does show up. So this cav charge is successful in the sense that it disorganizes my lights and gets my line screwed up. But 2 things happen. A, these fail to just straight up kill my fucking lights because I do get line there in time. And B, they don't exploit that with an advance of their own. And we didn't, presume to time this, but Hope's little countercharge here, this is all the Dogsnut player. I mean, this is all the left side player. This guy all of a sudden has a ton of micro shit that he has to worry about. He has to worry about his cav that are probably going to be charging into squares. He has to worry about Hope, who's got cav in line up on his lights right here. And I want to point this out to you because this is where the game is decided. Remember these 3, there's 4 line units there, 3 foot guard and a musketeer. It occurs to me 2 things. First, that if we're going to win, we have to do something drastic. We have to counterpunch them where they're weak because they're incredibly strong here. And if I just dick around on my side, then we're going to lose. So we have to counterpunch. And B, it does occur to me that this guy has a ton of micro problems. And the thought was that this guy is not fucking paying attention right here. So let's get on in there and get him. Now here comes his cav charge. They actually catch did my Lancers get through there? Yeah, my Lancers get through there, but I'm trying to retreat everything. And yeah, he does rout a first Fusilier. What I really kind of got lucky because all of the Fusiliers that get routed, there's 4 enemy cav there. Everybody comes back. Now here is the big deal. I advance infantry and 2 Lancers go into these left side foot guard units. This guy is not paying attention. These units get in for really fucking good cav charges. Really fucking good. And I mean, these are foot guard units. I kind of got unlucky. I mean, I have my foot guards here as well, but I got a bit unlucky. If these were musketeers, they would have already routed. Unfortunately, I'm fighting foot guards. I sent another cav unit in, and this foot guard should be moving up. Oh shit. I'm able to pull my Lancers out, turn them around, and charge back into the rear of this unit. Meanwhile, my foot guards are putting fire on it. There goes the charge again. The point, and this is kind of the aftermath of that big cav engagement, this guy is pushing Hope back, and Hope is doing exactly the right thing. He's retreating and buying time. Over here, we're about to rout those foot guards. Now, I want to focus on this section of the battle. This is where all of his cav came through. Now, I'm totally disorganized. I have 1, 2, 3 line infantry units that I'm trying to get back in there, and I have to put all my Fusiliers back in there. I had retreated lights, or I had lent my lights over to support Hope's side. But there goes that first foot guard. The second foot guard is about to go real fucking fast. And at this point, stop. Well, let me actually let the foot guard route first before I make the analysis that I wanted to. um, which should happen any moment. Which should happen. Come on. Come on, YouTube. Or come on. Come on, Deploying Total War. Help me make a good video here. Are we going to route these fuckers or what? Okay. Yeah, come on. Alright. That's good enough. Okay. You let the unit wrap around. Let it wrap around. Let it wrap around. Let it wrap around. Okay. Pause. Here's what just happened. Let's start on, big picture over on this side. Hope is totally outnumbered. Okay. But these people have not they've put a ton of their force here. They've isolated elements of Hope's army so that all of their right side player can focus on Hope's right side, right? Because the Dog's Nut player, their player on the left, is engaging this area of Hope's army. What they have not done is delivered an effective punch. They have not knocked Hope out. In the middle, they had a big disorganization attack that didn't really do much, because I have light infantry here that's still firing at the middle of their line, and I'm getting my line infantry back. And once I do that, I have 1, 2, 3 line infantry and 2 lights to take on a really depleted Jaeger and 2 line. And then over here, our counterpunch has been really, really fucking successful. I'm going to have 4 units, 3 of which are foot guard, taking them out. What has happened is we have turned their flank. Our punch was effective and theirs was not. This game is over. Right now, this game is over. There's one caveat to that, however. This game is over only if I can turn and roll up this guy before they can actually deliver the effective counterpunch, or what is essentially now their counterpunch. So the roles in this game between the 2 players are really evident. Hope needs to not die. Hope needs to dodge the punch. If Hope can dodge the punch, then we should win this game, because we have, on this side, just incredible advantage. The only question is, how long is it going to take me to roll them up? Right? That is the big picture. And I thought this was a pretty classic game, and I think that the reason that we were able to eventually win this game is for 2 reasons. It's that Hope played really effective defense. Hope made this guy earn everything that he got, and he made him earn it real fucking hard. And the second reason was that our counterpunch over here, my attack over here, was really, really successful. And we're just completely owning the Dog's Nut guy. And the only issue at large is, what is the best way to turn all this power we have here to affect this end of the battlefield? You know what I mean? And this was a really great game, and I think that the people we played against were fairly high quality, but terminally it just didn't work out for a minute. But anyway, the point is that I have worked my way all the way up to the second player, and Hope is still doing pretty good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 or so units left from him. He's holding off of maybe about 15 Prussian units, and that was the deal. So I thought this was a really interesting battle. Sort of illustrated those concepts that I talk about every now and then about counterpunching effectively. You have to be able to do that, and you have to be able to punch effectively. Like, if you're going to move all in on attack, like these guys did at the beginning of the game, then you have to move all in. You can't half in. If you kind of make the motion but don't follow through with it, then you've earned yourself nothing. And all that they earned themselves was massive quantities of disorganization for Dog's Nut over here, which I punched harder, and Hope held guard, and that's what happened in this game. This game is academic from this point. I mean, I think it was coming up pretty soon. Hope says, "Man, I'm not really sure how much longer I can hold out. I'm running out of bullets." And I said, "Well, man, you withdraw if you have to. I'm coming." And there, my line units wrapping around. And if you run out of bullets, just start running. That's what you got to do. But this is a pretty good game. I want to say good game to the guys from APGC, and I'll probably just let you finish the battle out. It's really they just start mass kite at this point, and not too much more interesting happens.